Hey everyone, today we're looking at some pretty interesting hidden secrets and also references inside of DBD. This is going to be a bit like the Easter egg video, but I thought secrets and references was a more appropriate title for the stuff in this list. Let's get into it. At one point in DBD's development, a killer called the Teacher was planned to be released that never did. You can actually learn about this killer by looking into the game files and also on the wiki where most of the information is also available. This character supposedly took down the survivors with a series of debuffs, with their weapon likely being a ruler, as seen in this icon. Maybe it would have been a bit like Susie's ruler knife, or maybe work more like a baton, a bit like Doctor. This character also had a unique power called Detention. Although the power remains unknown, it is speculated that the power had some new debuff or would simply apply a significant amount. When this killer was in the works, it was around August of 2016, which was just before the Nurse was released, so either the Teacher was meant to be the character that got released, or it was a character planned but never implemented. There is also a perk icon available, and its name is Underperform, presumably one of the Teacher's perks. However, this is all we have. We know nothing else to do with this perk. What it does, nothing. Just that it's called Underperform, and that this is the icon. There is further a new item that was planned to be added with the Teacher called the Trapple, which was a survivor item. My best guess is that this would have been a droppable item, a bit like the firecrackers, and it would have blinded or maybe even stunned the killers. Kind of like an apple bomb, I guess. You can see the blade sticking out of it in this icon here. Some speculate, due to the strangeness of the perk icon and the somewhat silly weapon, being a ruler with a blade, that the character of the Teacher was maybe just a bit of a joke, or a nod to data miners who would find it to mislead them. Or maybe they were planning on making a Teacher but changed their minds, deciding it was a bad idea. I guess we'll never know. There was also another character revealed to have been planned called the Smasher, able to destroy in-game environments. He was removed, however, due to it being hard to balance. With his removal, the ability for survivors to climb was also removed. This is quite a small reference, but quite a cool one. If you're active on the DBD subreddit, you've probably seen this one already, but it's well worth sharing. So, whilst the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was being filmed, as you would imagine, there were many behind-the-scenes photos taken and on-set photos, stuff like that. Of course, the character of the cannibal is part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, and one of the on-set photos you'll probably notice is quite familiar. This one in particular, of our boy Bubba. If we compare this to the in-game stance that Bubba takes in the main menu, you can see that they are the exact same. So, Bubba's stance in the menus is taken directly from the behind-the-scenes photos from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is pretty cool. Okay, so for this one we're going to be looking at the pig and also the map of the game. First off, there is a whole section of the game map which is just heavy in references or little secrets that reveal a bit more about the pig and also her equipment and such. Throughout the map you will find dummies in cages with reverse bear traps on their heads, almost like mini testing chambers. They are lit up almost everywhere and kind of seem to be on display. If you go over to the corner of the map, you'll find a kind of research lab, and also a bedroom area, a bit like Freddy's on Springwood. Presumably Amanda's bed. In this area, scattered across the floor and the tables, we can also see the plans for the reverse bear traps, and also some other contraptions. You'll also be able to find a spare pig mask on the shelf, which is identical to the ones that the pig actually wears in the game too. This makes everything feel all the more alive and kind of real, I guess. The whole area seems pretty loaded with references and such. These are the ones I caught. You may have wondered who voices the characters in game. Who are all these people screaming into mics? Well, it's actually employees of Behavior for the most part, the developers. If you look up online or on the wiki, you'll see that a load of developers, ranging from the art department all the way to quality assurance, have taken part in the actual voicing of in-game characters. This is fairly common practice, but it's quite cool to see just the sheer amount that are actually voiced by devs. Let's take a look at some. Okay, so this one is kinda just all Freddy based or related stuff. Let's begin first off with Freddy's Mori. Freddy's Mori is a fairly normal looking one and may not seem to be anything upon first appearances. But if you've watched the film Freddy vs Jason, you know that this is a reference to Freddy's death in that film. So it's pretty cool and kind of fitting that we get to see him replicate a method of his own death onto others. It makes him that little bit more vengeful, which is a large part of his character. I can't actually show it here because otherwise the video gets age restricted, so if you want to see what I mean, I'll leave a link to the film in the description. Okay, so also in the movie Freddy vs Jason, there are some very familiar characters and also locations that we could maybe see as an inspiration for the ones we see in DBD. First and foremost, the character of Meg seems to be quite inspired by a character from the film. She takes on a strikingly close physical appearance, with the same pigtails and cap. There are a lot of similarities between these two. Sure, it could be argued that it's just the stereotypical popular girl, but I'd like to think that the devs took some inspiration from this. Furthermore, in this film we see a whole scene based in a cornfield, which again is a huge part of one of the 3 original realms, Coldwind Farm, and its cornfields. Finally, for our little Freddy section, we have this secret hole, or kind of crawl space almost, that can be found on Freddy's map Springwood. It's right next to this mattress where Freddy sleeps in the film, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure what's in there, but it kind of looks like a shrine to me. Be sure to drop a comment if you have a better idea about this. Alright, I think that's going to do it. I do hope you enjoyed. Thanks, and goodbye.